December 3rd, 1968, NBC television studio. A man stepped onto the stage, leather jacket, guitar, and silence. He hadn't been on stage for 8 years. Everyone had forgotten him. They said Elvis is dead. But that night, the world witnessed. The king had returned, and nobody was ready. Hollywood, 1967. On a film set, Elvis Presley adjusted his wig. His 27th film, same story, same songs, same emptiness. Camera, action! Elvis fake smiled, fake sang, fake acted, because he wasn't real anymore, just a machine. Cut! Great, Elvis, perfect! But it wasn't perfect. It was terrible. When he returned backstage, he looked in the mirror. He was 32, but he looked 50, tired, broken, lost. What have I become? He asked himself. I used to be an artist. Now I'm a puppet. That evening, when Priscilla came home, she asked, "How was it?" Elvis didn't answer. He just cried, silently. "It's over," he said. "My career is over. My life is over." But what he didn't know yet. May 1968, Colonel Parker called Elvis. "There's an offer. NBC television, a special program, Christmas special." Elvis looked indifferently. "Another film?" "No, a concert, live." Elvis froze. "Concert? I haven't done a concert in 8 years." "I know, that's why it's perfect. People missed you." "What if they didn't? What if I fail?" The colonel lit his cigar. "Then you're really finished. But if you don't try, you're already finished." Elvis thought. He had choices. Either retreat from fear or give it one last chance. That night he asked Priscilla, "What should I do?" Priscilla held his hands. "Fight. Come back. Be the real Elvis." And he decided. He would accept. This is where everything changed. June 1968. Rehearsals began. But Elvis was terrified. "My voice isn't there. I've forgotten everything." Music director Bones Howe approached him. "Elvis, you didn't forget. You just hid. Now come out." The first rehearsal was a disaster. Elvis couldn't hit the notes, couldn't dance. He'd forgotten who he was. "I can't do this," he shouted. "I'm not that Elvis anymore." Guitarist Scotty Moore looked at him. "Then remember who you are. Remember 1954. Remember Memphis. Remember the music." Elvis closed his eyes and remembered. Small clubs, screaming crowds, the energy he created. He remembered who he was. He picked up the guitar and played an old song, his first song, and the voice came back, the power came back, Elvis came back. Wait a minute, don't miss this detail. Colonel Parker wanted the special program concept. Christmas songs, family-friendly, safe. But director Steve Binder had a different idea. No rock and roll, leather jacket, dangerous Elvis. Elvis was caught in the middle. "What should I do?" The colonel threatened. "If you don't sing Christmas songs, program canceled." Steve insisted. "If you sing Christmas songs, career canceled." Elvis thought all night, and in the morning he made his decision. "I'll do Steve's idea. I'll be the real Elvis. I'll take the risk." The colonel went crazy with anger. "This is suicide. It'll ruin you." Elvis smiled. For the first time in years, a free smile. "I'm already ruined. What could be worse?" And from that moment, everything changed. But here's the shocking part. November 1968, NBC studio, final rehearsals. Elvis wore the leather jacket. For the first time in 8 years, he felt like himself. He picked up the guitar, stepped onto the small stage, and began. Old songs, old moves, old energy. Everyone in the studio was shocked. This was the real Elvis, the Elvis of the 1950s. Steve Binder couldn't hold back tears. This is it. This is what we were looking for. But Elvis was still scared. "What if I fail live?" "You won't fail, because you're Elvis Presley, and the world missed you." December 3rd, 1968 was approaching. Judgment Day, What you've seen so far is nothing. December 3rd, 1968, 7 p.m., NBC studio, live recording. Elvis was waiting backstage. His hands were shaking. His heart was pounding. "Are you ready?" Steve asked. Elvis took a deep breath. "No, but I have to." The stage lights came on, the audience applauded, and Elvis stepped out. Leather jacket, black hair, powerful stance. The crowd went wild, because this was the legend. He had returned. Elvis picked up the guitar, moved away from the microphone, just played, and sang. First song, first note, first move, and the world held its breath. You won't believe this. Elvis walked on stage, talked, joked, smiled. "Hello," he said. "I'm Elvis Presley, and I'm back." The crowd screamed. Then he sang. Old songs, new way, more mature, more powerful. Every note was a cry of liberation. Every move was a dance of freedom. He stood in the center, silence, and slowly began to sing, an emotional song, telling years of pain. The audience cried because they felt it. Elvis's pain, his longing, his return. When the song ended, applause erupted, lasted for minutes. Elvis bowed with tears in his eyes. "Thank you for not forgetting me." But they hadn't forgotten, and they never would. You haven't seen the biggest surprise yet. At the end of the program, Elvis sang a new song, specially written, containing a social message, powerful, brave. People are suffering, the world is changing, and I shouldn't stay silent. When the song ended, the studio was silent. Nobody applauded, because they were in shock. Elvis wasn't a star anymore. He was a voice, a leader. Steve Binder shouted from behind, "Perfect, we made history!" But Colonel Parker was angry. "This is political, this is dangerous." Elvis turned to him, a cold look. "I don't care anymore, I'm free." And at that moment, Elvis Presley was reborn, as security approached. The program aired the same evening. 42 million people watched. Record-breaking. Critics went crazy. Elvis is back. The fire of the 1950s still burns. The best television moment of the year. The next day, newspapers ran headlines. "The King is back." When Elvis woke up in the morning, the phone was ringing, constantly. Interview requests, concert offers, record deals. "We did it," Priscilla said. "You came back." Elvis smiled with tears in his eyes. "No, I never left. I was just lost. This is where everything changed." Elvis started a concert series in Las Vegas, sold out every night. The leather jacket was now iconic. Elvis wasn't just a singer anymore, he was an icon. Young people admired him. Older people were nostalgic. Everyone loved him. But most importantly, Elvis had found himself. He remembered who he was. "Without the 1968 comeback special," he said in an interview, "I was a dead man. That program resurrected me." Musicians were inspired. Even the Beatles expressed admiration. "Elvis inspired us. Now he's back too." This is one of the most important moments in music history. Everyone had learned the truth, but the real shock. Steve Binder told in an interview in the 2000s, "You don't know how scared Elvis was that evening. He was shaking, crying, saying, 'I can't do it.'" "So how did you convince him?" "I said, 'Elvis, you didn't die. You just slept. Now it's time to wake up.' And he woke up." "Your most unforgettable moment?" Steve's eyes filled. "When I looked at his face while singing, I saw the real Elvis, the young kid from 1954, hungry, passionate, free. I'll never forget that moment." When he read that document. Today, the 1968 Comeback Special is considered one of the most important programs in television history. Why? Because it wasn't just a concert. It was a resurrection, a salvation, a victory. Elvis didn't just save his career that night, he saved his soul and gave the world a message. Falling doesn't mean ending. It means getting back up. Musicians are still inspired. Documentaries are being made, books are being written, and every December 3rd, fans celebrate Comeback Day. But what he didn't know yet, historians ask, what if Elvis hadn't come back in 1968? Answers. 1. Maybe he would have been forgotten. Just a memory of the 1950s. 2. Maybe he would have continued making movies. Unhappy. Lost. 3. Maybe he would have died earlier, because he would have no reason to live. But the 1968 comeback special gave him something. Hope. And that hope kept him alive for 9 more years, until 1977. Yes, he eventually died. But at least he lived once more. Really lived. Today at Graceland, there's a room. The 1968 comeback room. Inside are photos from that night, costumes, guitars, and a screen, playing continuously, the recording from that night. Visitors watch and cry because they see the moment a man found himself. Priscilla, in a 2023 interview. That night I was watching television at home. When I saw Elvis, I cried. Why? Because for the first time in years I saw my real husband, Elvis, not the king, the man. What did you say to him afterwards? Priscilla smiled. I hugged him and said, "Welcome back. I missed you." What did he say? He said, "I missed myself, too," when they thought it was over. The voice on the phone was familiar, but, Priscilla, we found lost footage. From 1968. Unreleased scenes. What's in it? Elvis crying during rehearsal and saying, "This is my last chance. Either I succeed or I disappear completely." And then he smiles. But trying is better than dying. Priscilla is crying. Release it. Let the world see. Let them see how a man saved himself. Elvis never died. He just left the stage. But on December 3rd, 1968, that night, he came back and proved legends never truly die. They just wait for the right moment.